Hello, and thank you for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Alex. I moved to Portland, Oregon about 4 to 5 months ago, and I had to start from scratch when it came to home decor and furniture. I love thrifting, I love interior decor, and I love talking. So today we're gonna mix all three in a big warm pot for a cozy little thrift haul of all my favorite home decor items that I thrifted, mostly in the last 6 months. I asked you guys in a poll last month if you preferred to see one video where I discuss home decor and fashion, or split it up into two, and you preferred the latter. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe for part 2 where I show you guys all my favorite thrifted clothing and accessories. Also, I do have a video where I share myself decorating the space and settling into it in the first 2 months. If you're interested, I highly suggest giving that a watch after this one. Okay, let's jump right into it, starting with my wall art. A lot of my wall art usually fits a criteria of having a stunning color palette, quirky or unique art, and good frames. This Kandinsky is one of the art pieces that I thrifted when I lived in San Diego, so it's come with us all around the country from our move to California to Colorado and back over to the West Coast again. And yes, it did unfortunately break in the process. The front glass-like, I believe it's called glaze or glazing, broke, and it's just sort of been leaning up against one of my walls because I'm not gonna lie, the minimal white art frame doesn't really match the aesthetic of my current apartment, but it is a really high quality gallery frame, so I don't know if I want to get rid of it entirely, not the art, just the framing, and replace it, or just replace the glazing and maybe put it in a room like my guest room or in a hallway. But the art itself is really beautiful. Obviously, I got this for $30. I was at a thrift store in San Diego, and I went up to one of the cash register ladies and asked them to lower the price, and I got lucky and they said yes. So it's one of my favorite finds. I'm gonna keep the art forever. I just don't know if I want to keep it in this art frame. Klimt art is quite popular, I found, here in Portland because I'm always seeing it on Facebook Marketplace. I don't usually care enough to reach out to someone, schedule a time to pick it up, but I have gotten lucky enough to find these two at the thrift store. The framing for this one in particular is really fitting. Klimt art is really rich and romantic and colorful, and I love having them in our space. I have 2 pieces of art in silver frames, which I talk a little bit more about silver and home decor later in this video. This one I also brought from San Diego, and unfortunately the glazing also broke on it, but you can't really tell from where it's located. It's located in my little cute corner. And again, I really just love the color palette of the art and the wide, thick matting of the frame. The matte paper is like the most beautiful royal blue. It's not too electric and it's not too dull, and I absolutely love it. And I thrifted this one a few months ago. Originally, I was a little bit thrown off by the color palette being non-existent and it just being black and white art. But over time, these 2 little koalas have grown on me, so I'm definitely just gonna keep it as is. And it is someone's actual art. I believe this is from a gallery in Hawaii, and I love just having this next to my TV. I feel like it looks really nice there for now. So same for this art, just seashells, and I really enjoy the color palette, but this piece has been one of my absolute favorites. I'm just obsessed with the muted color palette and the frame of this, and I just like having little fun, quirky, eye-catching pieces of art. I have also been on the journey of looking for art that isn't just framed art, and 2 ways that I've done that is through this one piece of fabric art that I recently got about 2 months ago. I show it in this video just to add a little bit more dynamic visual elements to the space and to break up all the hard lines of just picture frames. And I also thrifted this plate art because it already had the wire system in the back, and I think it's just a little bit unexpected and interesting to look at. You'll see this style of art in some other pieces that I show in this video as well. I really like fine line, doodly, sort of really looks handcrafted type of art. I really like this plate. Let's move on to wall decor that isn't art. First up is this silver double candlestick holder that is just so beautiful, so chic, and brings a touch of elegance to the room. I have this next to the TV. I went through a stage where I was really obsessed with a lot of silver. I can definitely say that I overdid it, but now that I started from scratch, I decided to be a little bit more intentional with it. So I definitely lessened the silver that I have in the space. And I just love using it as like little pops of material contrast throughout the room. It pops even more versus having a lot of silver, especially when you're really into wood and earth tones. Silver can be a nice way just to add like a cool, chic touch to a very warm, cozy space. Not that there's ever such thing as like too cozy, but I don't know how to expand on that further. I recently thrifted this mirror that you see above the bed. I didn't originally intend for it to be an above the bed centerpiece. I wanted it to be vertical, but it came with an already screwed on hook hanging thing for it to be hung like this. And as soon as I realized that it was meant to be hung sideways, I just pictured it above the bed. I couldn't unpicture it, and I think it looks so, so good. Even though I will say that right now I have been really intrigued at the concept of adding a large statement piece to the bedroom. I was recently watching Benji Plants, and he discusses how a lot of us fear like big statement items that make space feel lived in and settled, because sometimes they're a little bit harder to move in and out, so you know that they're going to stay there for a long time. I think oftentimes we stray away from things like that, like really heavy, large pieces of furniture, credenzas, bookcases on the wall. I do feel like my space is missing that right now, just because I'm on a budget. And also secondly, I actually don't know if I want to stay in this apartment past 1 year. All that to say that if you're like, that looks a little bit small, I get it. And sometimes I kind of like breaking design rules like that. And it's perfectly sized so that it does make the bed feel and look a little bit more centered and adds symmetry. But aside from that, I also just like adding mirrors to a room because it can make a small space feel bigger by reflecting corners. You get to see different parts of the room depending on where you're standing. Light reflects, and it really has added so much to the room. So if you have a room right now that feels kind of boxy and uncozy, try adding a mirror. I promise it will make such a difference. I recently got this magazine holder. I think this is actually one of my favorite finds this year. It added so much dimension to my cozy little reading corner, and it made it feel a lot more curated. I love home decor that allows me to showcase and display my personal items, my current reads, my vintage magazines. The location of the display makes all the difference, because if you have it too low, you might not be able to see it all. I just put it like right in the middle of the wall, and I feel like that was perfect. Functional, but also really appealing to the eye, and added a pop of color to the wall. And then speaking of wall decor items that allow you to showcase and display your own personal items, I recently found a trinket shelf. I'm currently sitting in a bed full of toys, not those kind. I can't wait to show you some of my favorite thrifted trinkets, but first I have to talk about the trinket shelf. Also made a video about that. I'm trying to do like this little series of what I thrifted versus how I styled it, so follow me on Instagram if that sounds interesting to you. And nothing too crazy to say about it, like it's just a cute small trinket shelf. Obviously cannot hold much else other than small items. Trinkets are my favorite type of souvenir to buy when traveling. Sonny Angels did not bring me half the amount of joy that like having a personalized trinket gives me. I just don't have the space to have it all. So it's like really just pick one or the other for me. And I much prefer having cute little personal unique trinkets that I feel like me and only 5 other people in the world have. Which brings me to my favorite thrifted trinkets. Unfortunately, a lot of my favorite trinkets in general are purchased during travel, and they're not necessarily thrifted, so I won't be showing them in this video, but I did want to show you the ones I have thrifted. First up, I have 2 little ceramic purses. Like, I don't know what to say. It's just a ceramic purse, and it is so, so cute with like embroidered flowers on it. Absolutely beautiful. And then we have another ceramic purse because I couldn't just pick one. There was a lot and I only had to pick one. I couldn't do that, so I left with 2. So fun and chic and personal to me. I think someone's grandma probably passed away, unfortunately, because this day at the thrift, there was a lot of little small ceramic purses and heels. And I went with this one because it sort of reminds me of like a mermaid, like what a mermaid would wear if and when she got her legs. Is that like, I don't know, a good reason. So cute, right? I love it. What else? Oh, this one I actually did get during a travel at an antique store in Joshua Tree, because Joshua Tree is known for their art scene and their antique stores. I have to snap on the mic to show you this one, because it's like an interactive experience. Even the sticker looks vintage, but this is just essentially a little slot machine that you can actually use. And I don't think that it will ever line up, because it's never lined up for me. So you could definitely get stuck playing this for a long time, but she is pretty sturdy and heavy. And I don't know, I saw this and I was like super obsessed, and I had to get it. I'll classify this as a trinket. It's like a little ceramic home decor item that is almost too big to be a trinket, but screw it. And I was mentioning earlier that I like this style of art, that it almost looks like kind of imperfect and organic, super handmade. And this is just like a beautiful little pot with Japanese art, beautiful colors, and it is functional and practical. I could use it to like fill her up with sugar, but I honestly just don't use sugar like that, and I don't want this taking up space in the kitchen. Right now I just have it on my credenza as like a little pop of color in whatever corner it's sitting in. Let's move on to lighting. I'm super excited to get into the lamps that I recently got. I really wanted the room to feel a little bit more mature than what I've done in the past. The way that I decided to do that is through symmetry. I got 2 matching nightstands, which I don't think I've ever done. I also knew that I wanted to complement the matching nightstands with matching lamps. I did not find matching ones. I would say that they're not identical twins, but they are fraternal, and that looks almost better to me. When I saw these at the thrift, I internally screamed. It sounded like a heaving gasp. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever done this at the thrift store, when you see something from a distance and you're like, you don't want to like make it too obvious, because someone else might see it too, and you might draw attention before you get to it. And this was these lamps for me. I'm absolutely obsessed with them. I don't know what to call them, if they're like stainless steel or silver toned. One of them is definitely, in my opinion, cooler than the other in the aspect that it's a touch tap lamp. It's a touch tap lamp. You can touch it anywhere and it will turn on, and it has 3 different dim settings. It is so exciting to me, and it really added so much to the space. It really anchored the space. It looks so sleek and cool, and I've already mentioned how much I love like the pop of silver, especially because I have so much wood in the room, so many earth tones. The pop of silver just looks so good. They almost have like a sculptural vibe to them. They are such a fun statement piece, and I can definitely see myself keeping them in my forever collection. Another interesting looking lamp, I don't know the name of this, Pixar looking type of mid-century modern lamp with an adjustable stainless steel stick thing. Sometimes this is why I'm like nervous to film these videos, because I'm like, how do I talk about items? Like, I'm not the master of items, you know? Anyways, yeah, I saw this at the thrift store for $5 and I had to get it. I love that it's actually functional and adjustable. I'm actually using it as a part of my lighting system right now, and I'm bending it back to reflect light on the wall, which aside from just being like a cute, obviously mid-century modern type style lamp and having that nice royal electric blue, you need a lot of lighting here in Portland. So when I see a cute lamp for cheap, I usually grab it. I mentioned I won't be discussing the furniture because I feel like that can get boring quite fast, especially because I show a lot of it in my vlogs. If you want to see the main pieces, you should watch the video I mentioned in the beginning of this video. After this video. But I do want to mention my TV stand slash credenza that I got very lucky with on Facebook Marketplace from someone that I did take a chance on with a low rating. I did have a bad experience. I did have to get some of my money back because her man's tried to carry some of the credenza on his own, dropped it, and broke some of it. Don't want to get into it. It really doesn't matter because you can't see the damage. Anyways, I ended up getting it for just $25, which is such a snag. And even though it's not real wood, it's heavy and it acts like real wood, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful laminate finish with this mid-tone honey teak style wood that mimics that mid-century style wood that I like. It has 3 drawers on the right hand side that are very high quality, and it has an open shelving system that is just very functional and cute. This to me is like my statement furniture. When I say that it was the biggest pain in the ass to get into our apartment, I am not kidding. It was awful. I unintentionally made Zach late to work like 45 minutes because it just took so long to not only get it in our vehicle, we had to drive to our apartment with my back trunk door open and Zach like in the back seat holding on to the car. So it was bad. But I think it was worth it. Still trying to figure that out because I definitely do think about the day that we're gonna have to move it out, and I'm like, I'm just down to hire someone to do that at that point. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's worth it. I love what it did to the space. What I was really wanting and looking for is a credenza that is longer than our 55-inch screen TV, because I love the concept of decorating on the sides of your TV. So it really does make the space feel settled and lived in, and I love it. I love it a lot. And then I should just mention my super cozy red reading chair that I got for $35 on Facebook Marketplace, because it reclines and it supports the back of my head. As someone with spine issues, that is absolutely amazing. I'd be lying if I said this wasn't one of my favorite pieces of furniture, even though Zach does use it more than me. And now just getting into miscellaneous or random items. I want to start with this silver vase. I don't think it's made from real silver. I think it's just silver toned, but she's pretty heavy. I got this at the bins at Goodwill for I think like $1.50, and I think it's just an interesting, funky, organic looking piece of home decor that draws attention to the eye. And it's kind of unexpected since most vases are made out of ceramics. It looks both organic and kind of like handmade and artisan, like it was pounded with a hammer, but also elegant at the same time. I have it up on my little bookshelf reading corner. I haven't put flowers into it yet, but I bet that would look cool too. Next up in the random home decor section is my little nightstand clock. This is like one of the coolest, most retro mid-century modern items that I have. Is this not the most beautiful color palette you've ever seen? This like super subtle, almost yellow buttercream with this muted indigo sage green, these colors that I cannot even describe. I think this is a current brand, and then when I tried reverse image searching this, I struggled finding it. The font of the numbers, everything about it is just so cool. I love this so much. I don't think I'm ever gonna get rid of it. I just think it looks so cool, like straight out of the 70s. Does it work? It does not. Do I care? Not really, no. It's just a home decor item to me. I should mention my little wooden jewelry box that I recently got, just because I felt so lucky when I saw it. I specifically wanted this one. I saw someone else selling it, but they were way too far away from where I lived on Facebook Marketplace. So when I saw it at the thrift store, it was like this weird thrift deja vu that you only experience if you're like deep in the thrifting game. I just wanted something that wasn't gonna feel too visually heavy. I don't like glass jewelry boxes, so I knew I wanted it to be wood, but since I have a lot of wood, I knew that I wanted it to just be simple. It houses all of my earrings and rings, and then it has a little mirror, which is actually so useful. While we're here on the subject of my jewelry organization, I might as well mention this as well because it's very thriftable too. But I put all of my wrist cuffs on just an old cute wine bottle, and even if you don't drink, you can easily thrift either a cute water bottle, like you know these types of pirate looking bottles at the thrift, or just a really cool long skinny vase. I think would be a really cool bracelet slash wrist cuff holder. Like even right now I'm also using this candlestick holder with a long candlestick because I honestly have no place to put this in my apartment, so finding use for it just made it like a fresh new item again for me, which I love. I also recently thrifted this seashell, I don't know what, but I used it to house my small makeup brushes, and I think it looks really cute. I did have to break up a family for this one. I made an Instagram reel of me styling this, and someone commented saying, "Did you just break up a family?" Which is so funny. And then beneath the trinket shelf, I have a catch-all tray with that doodle type of imperfect style of art that I like so much. This one has texture to it, so it definitely is handmade, and it is so beautiful. Like look at that rich burgundy. I don't know. I love Love, love, love this. And like, no matter what phase I'm in fashion, I somehow always get drawn to paisley again. I can never hate her. When I saw this at the thrift, I knew that I had to get it. This cute little ceramic ramen bowl that unfortunately you're not supposed to eat in. And I did not realize that when purchasing it. So that's a bummer. And now it just is where I keep my Nespresso pods so that I can have it out on the kitchen counter and show it off because it's just that cute. Like, are you kidding me? I love ramen. This is adorable. And then I don't really consider this to be like a furniture piece, more of a storage solution, but I do want to mention my wooden coat hanger because honestly, get a coat hanger. It makes your space feel like 2000s New York, and something about it is very cozy and makes your apartment and home feel lived in. I think it's just because anything that, like I mentioned with the trinkets, anything that allows you to decorate through your personal items. So in this case, just hanging all of my purses. And I just love the concept of decorating with a little bit of mess and chaos. It makes the space feel a little bit more lived in and less intimidating. And it weirdly acts as decor without even trying, and now you're like effortlessly adding texture, color, and dimension to the space. I am such a big believer that with a little bit of time and patience, and assuming you don't live in a very rural area, you too can furnish and decorate your space secondhand, and the items will feel so much more unique and personal to you than all the mass-produced items that Target sells. So I hope that this video reminded you that you don't need to spend a lot of money to express yourself through home decor. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for part 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.